All right, the next couple of videos are going to be showing you the process and steps that I take making a piece of music from scratch, from writing it, imagining it, and putting flesh on the bones with the actual recording. And one of the things I wanted to mention about this is that I've been writing music during the pandemic of 2020, and things shifted greatly because we didn't have live performances. You know, most composers, musicians write music for an audience, so we didn't have an audience anymore. And I have to say that I don't have much of an audience for my original music, but it's something I wanted to recapture and revisit. So I used to write a lot of original music when I was in my teens and in my early 20s, played in jazz festivals all over Canada, got to play my original music, and then that went away when I started having a family and had to make enough money to raise the family. I started playing more cover music and collaborating with local singer-songwriters. So I'm getting back into it. And one of the things that I've been really enjoying is finding a purpose to write a music. So this piece of music is a piece that I wrote called Bryan's Eyes. It's for a friend in our community who's going through a process of passing over. And so it really helps to have something or somebody that I'm writing for. Rather than just writing a piece of music because it's fun and I don't even know if it's ever going to have an audience. And it's just been so rewarding to write pieces like this, pieces for anniversaries, birthday gifts. I wrote one for a gentleman who had really bad cancer and his family was bringing him back across the United States and they weren't sure if he was going to make it or not. And they wanted to have this piece of music just because he was such a lover of music, and it was just so fun to write that piece of music and then get the responses from the family and about the tears and the emotions that they had. So this piece of music, Bryan's Eyes, I'm going to take you through from the beginning all the way to the end. You can see what it takes to pull something out of nowhere, to pull something from air and fill that air now with sounds that have meaning for people. So it's just really great. Human beings are meaning makers, right? So here we go with the process. And thanks for coming along. I hope you watch all the videos. Click below to subscribe, or click on the bell so you'll be notified when I go live. And at the end of all these videos, you'll have a chance to see the final you'll have a chance to listen to the final recording, which is just about done. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you consider the possibility of me writing a piece for you or one of your loved ones, and adding some meaning and art to your life that's personalized just to you. It's my podcast called For the Love of It. This next, I'm in month number 2 of doing things for the love of it, with the hope that many of you will sign up to become patrons, will commission me to write a piece of music for you, because this is how I make a living right now. Thank you, Jan. And the next few videos that are going to be published daily are going to show you how I created an orchestral composition from the absolute beginning all the way to the end. And this is a piece of music that I wrote for a friend who is in his last days on earth here. He's a very amazing human being. He's beloved by the community. And I decided to take my musical portrait idea, where I take birthday number and I write it into the piece of music, into the DNA, into the building blocks or the tapestry of the piece, and make a special tribute for him. And I got his friends to send in messages to him so that I could weave those into the video and the music. So you're going to see me in the next 3 or 4 days, little piece by little piece, from the absolute beginning all the way to the end, how I write a piece of music. Because a lot of people think that we just sit down and go, okay, I'm done, let's go have a party, let's go have a beer. But no, it's a very detailed, very painstaking process. Some parts of it are like that. Some parts are like, I'm done. But most of it is painstaking. It's a process of craftsmanship, just like learning to juggle. All right. So this is my scratch pad right here. So I got a new piece of music. I'm writing for a friend who's going to be passing from this plane into another plane. And what I did was I called up his friends. I asked them to give me all kinds of feedback on him so I could really learn about who he is as a human being, what kind of things he loves in life. I found that he loves flowers, he loves nature, he loves planting trees, he loves going to hear symphony orchestras, the UT Symphony Orchestra. He loves strings. So I put all that into my body and I drove around Santa Fe thinking like, well, what would that sound like in music? And I think, well, this is something that I want to write for this person, maybe when they're sitting in a bed or on the last days of the earth, something they can tune into that will make them feel the love of their community, of their friends. So what would that sound like? So it was an interesting challenge to me because most of the music that I write, folks, is a combination of emotions and feelings. But I wanted to keep this in the entire piece in a feeling of love and connection. So if I write something like, and I go to this and this, right? There's like some melancholy in there. So first thing I did is I sat down, and a lot of times it doesn't always happen this way, but I think of other music that keeps me in that place. And for this piece, I've been listening to, at that time period, I've been listening to Ravi Shankar's Chants of India. I also love Dvorak's New World Symphony. So I thought, I'm going to write something that's a really simple, beautiful melody that feels like it's from the heart with that simple approach, the Indian music approach, the New World Symphony approach. So all I did was sit and I kind of meditated. Actually, what I'll tell you, I'll back up. I was meditating in my bed one day, and it did come to me like a vision. I said, this piece needs to be in A major, and I was listening, and I started hearing strings in A major with this kind of idea. So after that nap, that night, I got my guitar, I sat down, and I just played a simple drone, just like the Chants of India. I played a simple drone and just experimented to see what kind of melodies I could come up with. Well, I immediately came up and I just sang. So I just sang over this. Da, da, da. Hey, da. I did it wrong. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Like an Indian raga melody. Da, 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 da. And I sang that into my voice recorder. And so I had my first section. Now, well, then I started experimenting with that. This is what Beethoven did. He takes a simple melody or parts of a melody and he writes out all the possibilities for that melody. So you can see on my score right here. Here's all the different variations that I wrote out before I settled on my final melody. So I sat and I go, I wrote this. Here's some of the variations that I came up with, which I didn't use. I kind of like that one still. And of course, I always keep them in this book because I may refer back to them later for new pieces of music that I'm writing. So then I'm thinking like, well, what would Dvorak do with a really simple melody like this? And I start setting the melody into some different possibilities. Now, granted, I'm already thinking I'm going to expand this melody to a full string orchestra, and because I know that my recipient of this piece loves string orchestra. So maybe I sat down. At first, I went like this. Okay, what would it sound like with a lush string arrangement? Let's see what that sounds like. That's just the A section. So I'm sitting around, okay, maybe, that's a little more active than I want it to be, so I decided to just keep this drone, like an Indian raga, and do this. So this is more the approach of what sort of classical harmony. So I have the melody, and I took the guitar up, and I had that's what we call the A section, the first section of the piece. I know I'm losing some of you.
Thanks so much for watching. You can click the bell, subscribe, and like below to help us out a lot.
We'll have another episode for you tomorrow, and you can check out more of my music on Spotify and all digital outlets under Will Taylor and Strings Attached. If you'd like a piece of music written especially for you or for your upcoming wedding or special event, please contact me at will@willtaylor.com.